combo is growing, these energies flowing and counters evolving, feeling exploding, the moon isn't showing, but I'm feeling wild and the aim is controlling. I'm fighting and throwing my fists till they crack. They punch and I counter with vicious attacks. As soon as they test me and think it's a rap, my power increases and dishes it back. The anger is fueling me out of my mind. The vision is tunnel for victory blind. I only see Saiyans was weaker than I. My father was right when he said he should die. We battle with Perry, the battlefield's wearing the rubble, the dust in the battle is clearing. And what do I see? My father is perished. Breathing the breath, making one that you cherish. I'm killing, leveling up to the max. Thought I was scary, well that was relaxed. Eat you in the ground to the planet collapsing. I'm digging you up and I'm sending you back. I'm learning there won't be anything left. And just when you think that you're ready for death, I'll give you a break so that you can refresh and rip you to shreds and then beat on my chest. I've been waiting for this. Always coming, taking the hits, always stuck. Raising the fist, always running. Run quick, better run. Raising the fist, always something. Sounding convinced, always done it. They are convinced, always not bluffing. And they should have run quick, got it done. Come and get it if you want it. I don't talk and I don't need to flaunt it. I'm the baddest legendary, you can call it. Maybe you'll believe when all of you are falling. Come and get it if you want it. I don't talk, I don't need to flaunt it. I'm the baddest legendary, you can call it. Maybe you'll believe when all of you are falling.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Instinct, and I got some special guests with me. Introduce yourselves, if y'all don't mind.
I'm Infinite Jackal King, aka Toying.Infinite in Discord. That's all my introduction.
And I'm the Hyperversal Kirai, the king of Sonic, the king of Miyagi's mother, and the king and the king of rotting niggas in debates.
And what is up, everyone? Corn O'Keefe back yet again. Thanks for having me on the channel yet again, Instinct. Happy to do this with you.
Oh, no problem with you guys. And today, we got a very special treat for y'all. And it's going to be a debunk on Animation Rewind, or you want to call it Rewind Rumble, on Archie Sonic versus Xeno Goku, or Xeno Goku, if you want to pronounce either way. And as for the research on both of them, well, for Xeno Goku, they got his AP right, at least 5D I'm okay with, but like, you can scale him hard, but like, for Archie Sonic, it's pretty bad.
They wank him so hard.
Since, like, as Animation Rewind said, that Demigirl was threatening to, like, or was going to destroy, like, the Dragon Ball history, which is like an infinite multiverse, which should be at least infinite 4D. You can argue 5D if you want to go by the extra dimensional stuff, since, like, Demigirl is already infinite 4D. And, like, since for extra dimensional, it could be like if you're 3D, you could be 4D, but as for this case, since he's infinite 4D, he should be 5D. But there's something called Dragon Ball Heroes, and he transcended into like the real world, so he should be at least 5 to maybe 6D by default if you want to go by the extra dimensional stuff.
Yeah, and to touch up a little more on that, the whole real world thing, that's really contentious. And actually, there's a lot of different ways to actually try to go about it and argue it. Because here's the thing. A lot of people actually do argue that the time nest and, the time nest itself is a 5D structure. They basically argue, what they argue is, and there's evidence for it, is the entire Dragon Ball, the video games, right, the multiverse, is altogether 5D, and the real world would be viewing that as fiction, as it's shown and basically implied, obviously. So that's why the 6D would come in. So, and he didn't really even touch up on any of that, really. Like, his scale, the dude who gave him the scaling was somewhat vague about it, the way they went about it. And
yeah.
They more or less didn't really justify fifth dimensional like they could have. Like, we even have Toa and Mira, they're actually shown and stated to exist beyond the flow of space and time as well. And as you said, Demigra transcends space and time. he's stated to be extra dimensional. There's infinite timelines, possibilities, and there's these fifth, possibly sixth dimensional structures. And yeah, now for the whole immeasurable speed thing, right? I think you have a problem with that because he had him in like baseline and measurable. Now I think you'd like to touch up on that.
Yeah. Demigorgon should scale to the Time Patrol, who is at least able to like travel through timelines of his raw speed. And that's already in Xenoverse 1.
Yeah, and keep in mind, base Goku scales to that, let alone any higher forms. So to say he's only baseline and measurable, or imply he's only baseline and measurable, is pretty ridiculous when you consider he can stack all of his other forms and he gets stronger as well as faster throughout all the games. So you can easily, using the official multipliers, you could easily get him thousands of times above baseline and measurable. Very easily.
Yeah. And the most.
And as for hacks, he kind of chimed over. He kind of ignored a lot of hacks. Like he brought some stuff up, but he didn't really. He kind of just brushed them off. Like, what would you say about that?
Yeah, I would agree that they didn't bring up like any of his hacks at all.
Yeah.
Well, basically, all right. He does have immortality type 4 because in his scan it says he can resurrect himself and someone else as well. So resurrection hacks and type 4 immortality at least.
Yeah, and he didn't really extrapolate that much on like his probability manipulation. That's where we kind of get into like the whole Archie thing here. It's kind of played off like, oh, Archie's just so much above him because he's quote unquote outerversal. So I guess he just kind of figured nothing Xeno Goku had work, which is true if Archie Sonic was actually outerversal, which the justification he gave, it definitely does not imply that at all, which we're going to get into that really soon, unless you have anything else you want to add on about Xeno Goku and the scaling.
Well, I will add scaling and I will make a future video on Xeno Goku and how strong he is, and that will be in the future. Well, that's it from my point. Now let's talk about the Sonic point of things.
All right, so Hyper, you want to start off with that?
Okay, so starting off with the whole Archie Sonic stuff. Okay, so for the claim that he made of like Sonic being outerversal, just because he was an author. Now, this is very wrong for so many reasons, and really, you did not go into much detail about how Sonic is outerversal. All because you write a story or rewrite a story doesn't make you outerversal. There has to be more context to it. And then also, there's also something with the writer to where inside a legal battle, to where he doesn't even have the right to even say that Sonic does not lose. So basically all of that of Sonic basically rewriting the story basically never happened because of the writer not having any rights to Sonic anymore. So now it's actually another writer or Sega that actually has the approval. And since they did not approve it, that does not make Sonic Archie Sonic outerversal. And another thing too is with the whole, you did not even go into much detail about like Archie Sonic's abilities, like nowhere near at all. You didn't talk about none of the feats. You didn't talk about how in like base form of how he was getting mollywopped by Super Scourge, but still never went into detail about how in Super Scourge and his form of how he was literally hurting Sonic and Sonic was all right. So like there was like not that much detail going into Sonic. A lot of Sonic went of AR and Punch Bro himself of with this outerversal statement it's just really fallacious. And I'm gonna let Infinite or Corn and say their part about it.
Yeah, I'll let Infinite go, and I'd like to touch up on a couple things after, but Infinite can go ahead.
So basically, like the problem with the outerversal thing, for one, from what the scan he showed us, there has to be more context other than he's the author. I was like, if that's the issue, that well, that'll be more explained, like why like the early issues of Sonic the Hedgehog Archie is not canon. Then that's the issue right there.
Yeah, and and I'll touch up a little more on both sides. So with the whole author thing, yeah, and be like rewriting your story, that does not inherently grant you outerversal power at all, and that's just really a big, bold claim to make, and it would require more evidence to say so. Because the more extraordinary the claim, the more extraordinary evidence you need. Bigger the claim, more evidence you need. That's just that. That's logic. And
Yep.
and
Preponderance.
like, yeah, and like One Punch Bros, I know I kind of have a feeling where he's getting some of this ideas at for like, oh, because he's heard me talk about like Marvel. He's heard my research on like Marvel and how like Toa, the one above all, embodies every reader, and I have him like place it outerversal. However, I go into detail as to why that is and explain that yeah, these writers and Toa are creating actual outerversal constructs and entities and ideas, and they also and like they can send other characters who are on that level that they themselves created. I'm not going to go. This is not about the one above all, but that's just the gist of it. Like it depends on the verse and who's how big the cosmology is of the verse that these writers, quote unquote, are creating with their power. So him writing, the Archie Sonic verse, multiverse, that's like 5 to 6D at best, dude, for what the justifications you've shown in that video. Just simply being beyond your continuity does not inherently grant you outerversal, as you're only beyond what you yourself put in the continuity. That's why someone like the one above all, when I say he is like, oh, he's every author, writer, and editor, and so that makes him outerversal, if not high outer. Well, I substantiate that with actual evidence and stuff like that, and I actually go into detail as to what I mean. Not just about simply being the author of something. That does not at all grant that level. And I would like to debate, even heck, we can just have a discussion with One Punch Bro. I'd love to have a discussion with him on this research and his reasoning on this. And like the best stuff he put in that video is like, again, multiversal plus 5D to 6D. That's literally the best justifications they gave. There's what he did for outerversal, that does not at all justify that rating whatsoever. And there's another thing too, his little like fate manipulation thing. Sure, yeah, Archie Sonic does have that, but you were very vague and you just kind of glossed over it, said, oh, his fate manip and him being above baseline outerversal. But like the post analysis itself really didn't have a lot of explanation behind it. Really vague, really just glanced over. And like if you want to wank, right? If you want to talk about outerversal wank and use these vague arguments, it's like the real world in Dragon Ball Heroes. You can just technically say that's literally outside the continuity. Quite literally, you could argue that, and like they view that shit as fiction in the Dragon Ball Heroes multiverse. That you can just say that's outerversal, but it's not. Neither is Archie Sonic though. So there's wank for both sides. If you're gonna wank one, wank them both. That's why you should try to be more reasonable and consistent. Like there's multiple ways to go about it. That's what I'm saying. If you want to wank one, wank the other. If you want to downplay one, downplay the other, or just be consistent and bring up how like, sure, you could argue this for both, but here's what a consistent scale would more than likely be, right? Because this is what they consistently shown. Like the whole plot hacks too. That's really arguable. Yeah, he's shown it, but again, that others brought it up. It's like it's really debatable. Depends on what era of the comics that's in, because there's a certain writer who no longer has legal rights to Archie Sonic stuff. So that could be part of that. And it's also led up to be more like a gag scene, more or less. So like, even if it was plot hacks though, I want to get on that real quick. But plot hacks itself, even if he had it, that's cool with me. That itself does not inherently give you outerversal rating either. Because what if you're only manipulating the plot of, again, a 4 or 5 dimensional multiverse? You have to consider this stuff. Whoever's listening right now out there in the audience, you actually do need to look into things in the context. This stuff does not inherently make you that level. And now, that being said, I ultimately don't care who wins this fight. I just think the whole thing is just ridiculous in terms of the reasoning. Whoever did this, One Punch Bro and this other guy, I'm sorry, I don't know, I remember your name, but you're kind of vague on your Xeno Goku stuff. And I'm willing to discuss this with One Punch Bros, especially on this Sonic stuff. Other than that, anyone else have anything you want to add on?
Yeah, like it's like it's like the whole point that you said about the authors, like about the authors not being there. It's like what the whole point is with that too. If the author doesn't have rights anymore, that really does make it not canon at all. So which means you wouldn't even be able to use it. And like another thing is too is like I really do not care who wins, even though Xeno Goku should win. But either way, like if you're gonna do like a matchup, give justification for both of them. It's like what Corn said. Don't downplay one, then wank the other. It's like give justice to both characters, and that's just my whole reasoning on it too. It's like you can also debate me on this too, or have a discussion because I'm willing to discuss this with you too about the whole Archie Sonic stuff because we ain't gonna have no wank it's like the wank right here stops right now. It's like we're not gonna have any wank anymore on Sonic or any downplay on Goku. I mean, my DMs are opened, and I would literally have a pleasant discussion with you. You know, we can all sit down, have a cup of tea, talk about our lives. But yeah, just hit us up in DMs, and we'll be willing to have a discussion with you.
Yeah, we're not gonna be hostile to y'all unless y'all are hostile towards us. We treat people how we do want to be treated, so we can have a discussion, we can have a debate. Even it doesn't even have to be a heated debate, but if you want to get heated, it can turn heated. That's the thing, and
Yeah.
and there's not going to be any disrespect. I'm just letting everyone know right now who's listening. If y'all have a problem with this, we will debate it, we will refute it, and we will provide our own evidence and consistency for what we are claiming. That's a fact. That's what we will do. There's nothing left to be said, really, on my part.
All right. Can I add something?
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. All right. Just so y'all know, I know that the audience that are watching us now, I know y'all want to be some keyboard warriors and type in the comments saying, "Ooh, who wins this? Who wins?" No, he's not that level. Like, dude, watch the video, bro. Watch the whole video, bro. You don't have to get all booty tickled and being spurgy in the comment section and shit. If you got a problem with this debunk, debate either one of us, me, Corn, Curai, or maybe Infinite. You can debate one of us, and we will be civil about it. Unless you being aggressive to us, we could do the same thing to you. But if you want to have a civil discussion, we all cool with that.
You know, and one more thing just to say is like, and also before you guys start typing in the comment section, oh no, you guys are Sonic down players. It's like literally me and me, Hyperversal Curai, Corn, and Infinite all scale Archie Sonic. So I don't know how you could even say that we're downplaying him.
Right. I actually have Sonic videos, like power skills on my channel that like giving him justice. I actually do rep Sonic a lot, and it just sucks to see him get. I don't want to see him get downplayed or wanked. That's the thing. There's a difference between low ends, mid ends, and high ends compared to downplay and wank. And a lot of stuff I see recently is either downplay or absolute wank. Nothing in between. No, there's no
Just
good
jerking 'em
consistent
off.
low end. There's no good high end. There's nothing in between. It's all just It's all. It's like a roller coaster. It's just up or down. Like it's like you're just rodding his rod, or you're just like cutting it off of him so he can't get anything. It's like
Yeah.
that's all it is to it. And this video, it is mainly the researchers, right? Because he made it AR. He did make it clear he got most of his stuff from those researchers. But I do want to say, so I don't have anything towards AR. I'm not disrespecting. I'm not even disrespecting like the researchers. I made that clear. So if y'all want to discuss it, anyone who was on the research team in this, even AR himself, we can literally talk about this. We can even debate it. But that feat and everything you said for Sonic in that video is not justified, and I've debunked it myself previously in this video. So that does not justify or warrant that type of rating. Other than that, I'm done with what I need to say.
I'm done too.
All right, one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Before we end this video off, I might make a future versus battle on Archie Sonic versus Xeno Goku or Xeno Goku, and I'll give them both their Hax's abilities, their speeds, and their AP and durability. I'm gonna make it fair for both of them. So
Yeah, he might even have fans of both sides on there helping him too. He might have that way. There's no bias at all. It's all just gravy, baby, all in the middle.
Yeah.
Also, before we end this video, go buy yourself some corneos. Link in the description.
Peace, y'all.
Without further ado, peace.